So if you're a regular to the channel, straight away you know it's different. I'm in a different room. I've moved away to uni. That's why there's been a bit of lack of videos. But I'm back on it now. I'm going to try and make some more. There is construction like literally right out my window, which is really annoying. But I can still get the videos out, just maybe be random cuts somewhere where they start drilling. Anyway, I'm going to try and make Apex and Brawl content. If you're new to the channel, please sub if you enjoyed the video. I'm trying my hardest with this Apex content, but it's very, very different. Let's get straight into it with this tier list. As it is with a tier list, you're going to anger a bunch of people and get more dislikes than normal. But instead of disliking the video if you don't like my opinion, write why it's wrong and where the character should be. But I think these are going to be pretty cut and dry, and this is going to be after the Rampart patch. It's not out yet, but I'm predicting what it's going to be like when it comes out. There's only a few changes that make a difference, and with the removing of tap strafing, that also makes a difference with some character abilities. Now let's go. We're going to go with F tier, which is obviously only going to be Mirage. Mirage doesn't really do anything. He does his purpose very well. He's very confusing. It's just being confusing isn't really what you need in a battle royale. And he needs a bit more. He needs a punishment for shooting his decoy or just something more. Like if you think about C, who just came out, has so much utility. And Mirage doesn't really do anything for the team. And that's the only person you got in F. In E tier, there isn't anyone this patch either. But in D tier, it's going to be a controversial opinion because they were so strong once and they haven't really changed much. It's going to be Wattson. Wattson isn't the strongest legend, I'm going to be honest. In pubs, she's useless. In ranked, she's pretty good. And in high levels, she is okay. But in pubs, useless. And she doesn't really provide any mid-fight capability. It's really difficult to push in on a Wattson. But even then, she's just not the strongest. She needs a change, a rework. And hopefully she'll get that soon. Rampart got a rework with her heirloom. And Wattson is looking to get an heirloom soon. Like if you look at the characters who have it and are released. So hopefully Wattson gets that rework as well. And then that is it for detail. I think Mirage and Wattson are just in their own league of bad. And we're going to go to C now, where we're going to have a few controversial picks. I think Crypto's going in C. And I would put him in D, but his EMP is just too strong. His EMP has got to be one of the strongest abilities in the entire game. And that is why he deserves his place in C. As well in C is going to be a weird one, but right now I think Caustic goes in there just because on Olympus he's not that good, and on World's Edge he is pretty good but not as good as he is on King's Canyon. But in a meta where you have characters with big scans, his smoke doesn't really, like, you can see through it basically. It doesn't really do its job, but you know, for hurting the team and for hurting your team, stopping them from pushing in, he's pretty good defensive character. He's probably one of the most solid characters at actually defending a building, locking down an area, and his ult is really good. The changes they did with Caustic's ult, with the cooldowns and the damage, has been really good for him, and hopefully we're going to see some good things from Caustic. I don't think he's a bad legend. He could easily go in B, and in fact he is, if there was a place in between B and C, I'd put him there, but for now he's going in C just because in ranked he's good, but in pubs again he's pretty useless. Now we're going to go up to B tier, where we're going to find a lot of legends, like a lot of legends. And we're going to go Bangalore. Bangalore is good at everything. Passive good, smoke's good, and ult's good, but in a meta with so many scans, right? Her smoke doesn't really do the job. You can kind of see through it. And if you're the team with scans, if you've got a Seer or a Bloodhound, it's good. But if the enemy team's got it and you don't, then it's kind of a hindrance to your team. You need to run certain characters with Bangalore, and that's why she's in B. You got Fuse. Since the buff with the ult, Fuse could go up to A, but again in ranked he's not that useful. In pubs he's really good, but his ult is just so strong when it works. When it doesn't, it's useless. His tactical is actually quite good at locking down an area. It's quite scary now getting stuck with it because you can really do a lot of damage to your whole team. 2 charges is good. His passive with the extra grenades is so good. I think one of the best passives in the game, and that is why he's in B. Along with, in B we're going to put, I want to say Bloodhound, but I think Bloodhound's going to go up in A in a bit, and I'll explain why he's not in B. But I'm going to put Horizon in like upper... No, Horizon will be in A. We're going to put Lifeline in B, because in pubs, in 1v1, she's so good. Her drone is so good, but in ranked, you're just going to all comp. If you try and hit a res like that, you're just going to get collapsed on really hard anyway. If one of your teammates gets knocked, so it's not as useful. The care package is good, but loot isn't the best. That isn't a thing you need all the time, and you can win with worse loot if you're a better player. So the body shield you get isn't really, you know, the purple body is probably the best thing you get, or the gold one now if you all have purples. But then again, the care package can be used sometimes, and you could have a way better ult. And then for B tier, we're also I want to put Rampart in B, but we're gonna save Rampart for A tier as well afterwards, and that is just because Rampart is with this change, I think she's gonna be a very destructive legend. But A, we've got almost half the caster going in here. Bloodhound, because it's just all best well-rounded character. He's got offense, he can scan defensively. His tactical now, his passive is now good as a team move, because with this passive you can see in the new patch, you can see when they were, so you can kind of communicate more with your randoms in ranks or in pubs when enemies were near and if they're near, and that leads to some really, really good things. And then we're also going to put Octane in A tier, or up. He's going to be the lowest in A tier. I think he's just clenching onto it. But with the nerf to the pad twice now, it's 90-second cooldown. Now you can't tap strafe on it. Now 10 to 15 seconds, you can't 10 to 15%, sorry, off the bounce pad, a horizontal distance, which is a really big hit. And honestly, I'm not sure if he even deserves to be up in A, but it is just because I know he's going to be a very popular legend. His stim is still 40% speed boost, is still one of the most strong abilities in the game, so you can't complain at all about that. But he's countered a lot by the new legends, or some of them, and Revenant's up here above Octane. Revenant can cancel Octane's stim, but Revenant's bounce pad is just too good in ranked and pubs. His silence is useful, 15 seconds of your enemies having no abilities and 10 damage is a pretty strong thing in an ability-based shooter. His climb is now really good, he can scale almost any building, which does lead to some good sneak attacks. If your team are taking the zip or in a fight, it is loud, but you can sneak up on them. We've got Pathfinder in A as well. For pubs, this is in ranked he might be a bit lower because his zipline's not too good in ranked or competitive play, because you're going to get beamed if you go on it. But in pubs, his grappling hook is too good to pass up. His passive is non-existent, and hopefully they change it. But his grappling hook means he is very mobile. Really, he can quickly reposition to his team, escape. It kind of does everything. It is the multi-purpose tactical. And this leads me to Rampart, the biggest change. I think she would have probably been in E or D, but now we'd put her in A, because those barricades have always been underrated. But now you can set up and then you can pop your Sheila and carry your Sheila on your back, and pull it out whenever you want and shoot with it. And Sheila's powerful, very underrated, and hopefully we're going to see how this affects her. I do think she's an A tier legend, and she deserves to be up there, because she brings a lot of defense to the team. If you get a really set up Rampart with 5 or 6 pieces of cover, you can do a lot of damage, and you can hold down an area a lot. The amp cover, the extra damage, often isn't looked at, but you're effectively fighting with 200 extra HP, because the barricades tops have 200 or 150, and you're fighting with a 15% damage boost, which means if you're losing that fight, there's something wrong. You're going to win a 1v1 almost every time. She's got good tech, good utility, and overall is a very strong legend. Now we got Loba. Her mobility is good. You can get in and out quite easily, very quick. You can get from cover to cover 100% safe, and her ult is very, very strong. Infinite ammo is the main thing, and you always have good loot. After a fight, Loba can drop her ult, you can loot up all the good things, get the ammo, and be ready for the next fight straight away. You can also body swap with her ult. Her passive is a bit lackluster, I'll be honest, but that is just how it is with some characters. Some characters have good passives, some characters have bad passives. Horizon's passive is quite good. I didn't really cover Horizon, but Horizon's passive is good, but it is one of the lackluster passives since tap strafing was removed, because that was a big thing for her. But yeah, Horizon's up here just because the black hole is messed up an entire team fight. You can win a team fight with the black hole. Grav lift is team mobility, and that is all you need. And then up here we got the top 4. We got Gibby, Seer, Valk, and Wraith, and I'll explain all of these now. I think Wraith, again, since the release of Seer, is one of the best legends in the game. When you get Seer scan, you can Wraith Q away, and you're not on scan. You're the only character who can kind of get out of being Seer Q'd, which is Seer is a very strong character, even with all the nerfs you went through. And she can get her team from A to B. If you get knocked, again, Seer can cancel your res if you're any other character, even in a Gibby bubble. You can Wraith Q, or you can Wraith ult that knocks person away, maybe out of the range of the Seer, and it means you have a safe, whereas she again has a small hitbox, maybe not the smallest anymore, small hitbox, really strong abilities, really strong kit, just one of the best characters, and she's designed that way. You know, when the devs released the game, you know that they thought she was going to be strong. Then you got Gibby, arm shield, bubble to protect your team, and a bombardment, an ult which forces players out of cover. And if you, in the last rings when it's getting small, that ult can, you know, if there's no buildings, that can mess up a team. And the only counter to Gibby is more Gibby, which means that Gibby is everywhere. Seer has everything. His scan does everything. He's the multi-use character. He's got the heartbeat sensor. His ult is good, really good defensively. If your teammate gets knocked, you ult, and they're trying to sprint in and kind of finish you, or sprint in and capitalize on and punish your team. Doesn't really work because you can see them through walls, and offensively you drop it near them, and now you have a massive advantage with a permanent scan. And Seer is just an insane character. All three of his abilities are strong, and that's it. Valkyrie, a very good character for rotating. I think in a meta like this, it's very good to have a character like Valkyrie. If you need in a third party central, if you ult out, you can get out, you get hundreds of meters away, no character can catch you, you're gone, you're out of there, and that's really it. You can't really use it in a panic because, you know, if you get shot, it gets cancelled, and if you can get beamed in the air still, but if you use it coordinated with your team, you can get out and gone from a losing battle, and you are away. And I think this tier list looks about right to me. The only interchangeable spots are you could put Caustic in B, and you know, I'll stick Caustic in B just because I want to make the Caustic mains happy, and I know he kind of deserves to be up here with the other characters. If I got anything wrong, I think Watson could be a very high level character if you're in a high level of ranks, but I'm talking about pubs and like from bronze to like diamond or bronze to plat here. I'm not talking about the really upper echelon of players, because I want this tier list to appeal to as many people. And I'm really sad to put Mirage in F, because I have the most kills on Mirage. Mirage is my main and my favorite character, and he just needs some love. He hasn't been changed for, I think this is the 6th season and the 12th balance patch, and you know he needs it. I think it will be coming up soon because it has been 6 seasons, and there's no way they can leave Mirage all the way down here. Anyway, I really hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe. Tell me one character I got wrong, right? And Octane needs to be right at the bottom of here. Tell me one character I got wrong, and tell me what you guys would like to see in the future of Brawlhalla, Apex. And yeah, again, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe. I'm just trying to get in this Apex content. It's very different. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Laters.